On Sunday, January 18th, we have the first new moon of 2026 being a Capricorn new moon, and it's exact at 28 degrees of Capricorn. So this is like ambitious and determined and mature and responsible energy. This new moon is conjunct Mercury and Mars in Capricorn, and it's out of sign conjunct Venus and Pluto in Aquarius, and it's also forming a sextile to Saturn and Neptune, making their final pass through Pisces, and it's also forming a trine to Uranus retrograde in Taurus. So a lot going on here. And so, as always, new moons are always a time to set new intentions and plant those seeds of the things that you want to nurture and grow over the upcoming months, because new moons are always about new beginnings and the start of new cycles. And so, with this new moon happening in the sign of Capricorn, this is kind of like a new beginning around our ambitions and our long-term goals and around those things that we want to build in our lives. And so really try to use this new moon to reflect on like those long-term goals that you have for yourself and the things that you want to accomplish this year. Capricorn is all about discipline and responsibility and, stepping into our own authority, and it's all about commitment as well, and it understands the patience that is needed in order to accomplish our long-term goals. And Capricorn is also the sea goat or the mountain goat. And so just kind of imagine that you've been climbing up this mountain because, this is happening at the 28th degree. So this is not like a brand new beginning. Like this is a new beginning around something that we've probably already started and something that we've probably already started to build or something that we already have an awareness of. And so as we're at this 28th degree, it's kind of like, we're almost at the top of this mountain. And during this new moon, it's kind of an invitation to pause and rest and reflect and, look at all that you've accomplished so far and really look at how far you've come. And then also reflect on like, do you want to continue climbing this mountain, and why do you want to climb this particular mountain? And is it still aligned with like who you are and, what you value most? Because that conjunction with Mercury and Mars and, out of sign conjunct Venus and Pluto, there's a lot of magnetism and a lot of power behind this new moon. And so, be honest with yourself. Like, do you want to keep climbing this mountain? And, if you do, like, set your sights on the peak of that mountain so that you don't lose sight of, what's important to you. And as we are taking a moment to like pause and rest, this is a time to really like, look at if you have enough packed to kind of like finish your climb up that mountain, and, also reflect on like what have you packed that you no longer need, whether it's like an outdated thought pattern or an emotional pattern or like a belief or, whatever it might be. Because this is the time to, unpack what we no longer need in order to move forward lighter and more aligned. The trying to